In the ever-evolving landscape of international relations, the Philippines has found itself in a strategic and often tense standoff with China, particularly in the South China Sea. With sovereignty issues, maritime rights, and regional stability on the line, the Philippines has not stood alone. Many countries around the world have voiced their support, provided diplomatic backing, or even military cooperation to ensure that international law and the rights of smaller nations are respected. In this video, we will uncover 10 powerful nations that have stood by the Philippines in its struggle against growing Chinese assertiveness. Number 10. South Korea. South Korea, while maintaining economic ties with China, has also shown support for the Philippines' sovereignty and maritime rights. Seoul values the strategic partnership it has built with Manila, which includes defense cooperation, intelligence sharing, and joint military exercises. South Korea supports international law and often emphasizes peaceful dispute resolution through legal mechanisms. It has expressed concern over provocations in the South China Sea and has provided assistance to strengthen the Philippines' maritime capabilities. The South Korean government balances diplomacy carefully but has not hesitated to show solidarity with its Southeast Asian partners when it comes to regional peace and lawful conduct. Number 9. Germany. Germany, as Europe's largest economy and a staunch advocate for a rules-based international order, has voiced clear support for the Philippines' stance in the South China Sea. Berlin has expressed strong concern over the destabilizing actions in the region and underscored the importance of abiding by international arbitration. Germany's naval deployments to the Indo-Pacific, though limited, symbolize solidarity with countries like the Philippines that face coercion. German officials have used diplomatic platforms to call for peaceful dialogue and legal resolution to territorial conflicts. Germany's role in the European Union also helps coordinate collective European support for Philippine interests, further isolating China diplomatically on the global stage. Number 8. Canada. Canada, known for its strong advocacy of human rights and rule of law, has consistently stood by the Philippines in its South China Sea dispute. Ottawa has reiterated the importance of respecting international legal decisions and upholding the principle of freedom of navigation. Through its Indo-Pacific strategy, Canada has expanded diplomatic engagement and security cooperation with Southeast Asian countries, including the Philippines. Canadian officials have voiced concerns over aggressive behavior in the region and emphasized the need for transparency and respect for maritime norms. The Canadian Navy has participated in transits and exercises that underline support for open sea lanes and Philippine sovereignty. Number 7. Vietnam. Vietnam, another claimant state in the South China Sea, has found common ground with the Philippines in resisting China's sweeping territorial assertions. Both countries have faced similar incidents of harassment and encroachment by Chinese vessels. While they have their own overlapping claims, their shared experience has fostered cooperation and solidarity. Vietnam has supported the Philippines diplomatically by joining calls for adherence to international law and for peaceful resolution of maritime disputes. Both nations participate in defense dialogues and have conducted bilateral naval engagements. The Philippines and Vietnam often present a united front in ASEAN discussions, urging stronger regional responses to Chinese actions that undermine sovereignty and peace. Number 6. India. India's growing partnership with the Philippines reflects a broader shift in its foreign policy to counterbalance China's dominance in Asia. As a fellow democracy and a maritime power, India shares the Philippines' concerns over aggressive Chinese behavior in regional waters. New Delhi has enhanced defense cooperation with Manila, including naval engagements and information sharing agreements. It supports freedom of navigation and has publicly backed international rulings such as the 2016 arbitration that favored the Philippines. India's Act East policy has brought it closer to ASEAN nations, and its strategic ties with the Philippines serve as a bulwark against Chinese expansionism in the Indo-Pacific. India's presence in multilateral forums further amplifies support for the Philippines' position. Number 5. France. France, a nuclear power with territories in the Indo-Pacific, has also expressed clear support for the Philippines in its maritime dispute with China. French naval vessels have joined exercises in the South China Sea to promote freedom of navigation and demonstrate resistance to coercive actions. Paris has issued statements calling for adherence to international law and has condemned actions that threaten regional peace and stability. The French government views maritime security in the Indo-Pacific as a matter of global importance, and its alignment with the Philippines underscores its commitment to counterbalance China's aggressive maneuvers. Beyond military gestures, France engages in strategic dialogues with Manila to strengthen cooperation in defense and maritime affairs. Number 4. United Kingdom. The United Kingdom, especially after its departure from the European Union, has been eager to assert its presence in the Indo-Pacific region. In its efforts to promote a free and open maritime domain, the UK has expressed support for the Philippines' sovereign rights in its exclusive economic zone. British warships have participated in joint patrols and naval visits in Southeast Asia as a signal of opposition to unilateral Chinese expansion. The UK's Foreign Office has also consistently recognised the legitimacy of international legal frameworks such as UNCLOS, and backed the arbitral ruling in favour of the Philippines. With increased naval activity and diplomatic engagements in the region, Britain's support carries symbolic and strategic weight. Number 3. Australia. Australia has been a vocal supporter of the rules-based international order in the South China Sea, often siding with the Philippines in calling out unlawful maritime activities. Canberra has supported the 2016 arbitral ruling and repeatedly urged China to comply with international law. Through bilateral security pacts and joint exercises, Australia has worked to enhance the Philippines' defense posture. It has also engaged in capacity-building efforts aimed at helping the Philippine Coast Guard and Navy monitor and secure their territorial waters. Australia sees stability in the Indo-Pacific as essential for its own national security and continues to deepen ties with the Philippines in areas ranging from counter-terrorism to maritime domain awareness. Number 2. Japan. Japan has emerged as a strong regional ally of the Philippines, particularly in maritime security. Sharing concerns over China's expansive territorial ambitions, Japan has stepped up its defense cooperation with Manila. It has provided patrol vessels, radar systems, and Coast Guard training to boost the Philippines' maritime capability. Tokyo views the security of Southeast Asia as inherently tied to its own national interests, and it consistently calls for the peaceful resolution of disputes and respect for international rulings. Japan's economic and diplomatic influence is also used to rally support for Philippine sovereignty within ASEAN and beyond. Their relationship has grown not only in strategic terms but also in mutual trust, as both nations seek to maintain a free and open Indo-Pacific. Number 1. United States. The United States has been one of the most vocal and consistent supporters of the Philippines in its maritime dispute with China. Bound by a long-standing mutual defense treaty, the U.S. has frequently emphasized its commitment to defending Philippine sovereignty in the event of external aggression. American naval presence in the Indo-Pacific, freedom of navigation operations near contested areas, and joint military exercises with the Philippine Armed Forces are direct signals of its strategic alignment with Manila. Moreover, the U.S. has repeatedly backed the 2016 arbitral ruling that invalidated China's sweeping claims over the South China Sea, emphasizing adherence to international law and the United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea. Through diplomacy, military aid, and symbolic gestures, the U.S. continues to act as a key deterrent against Chinese encroachments in Philippine waters. The Philippines may not match China in terms of economic or military might, but it does not stand alone. These 10 countries represent a powerful network of allies and partners who believe in justice, international law, and regional stability. From military support and diplomatic pressure to capacity building and strategic cooperation, each of these nations contributes to the Philippines' ability to stand firm in the face of intimidation. As the world watches developments in the South China Sea, this growing alliance signals that the era of unchecked aggression is being challenged, not just by one country, but by a collective voice committed to peace and sovereignty.